You know, I've been going to this casino for a while, every now and then, usually on the weekends, to spend their money. And, it's come to my attention that this lady comes in, brings this disabled girl in with her. I'm not sure whether she's a caregiver, guardian. She brings her into the casino. The little kid's, very crippled, skin and bones, probably arms about that big and legs about that big. And the lady plays the casino games, and the kid can be sitting there anything between 7, 12 to 14 hours while the lady's playing. The kid, I'll call it the kid because it's very hard to, the disabled girl, it's very hard to distinguish whether the person's age 30, 20 or even 10 years old. We've heard the little squealies of the kid when she's in distress, and the mother throws the bottle. I don't know if it's the mother or the caregiver or guardian throws the bottle in its mouth. But what's very distressing is seeing and smelling a child. Doesn't matter if they're disabled or not, but with what it could be. Could be a cerebral palsy or something. I'm really not sure. It's really hard not to offend people, but I've been, thinking about this for a while. The kid sits there, is obviously in distress. Been there for, anything at different intervals, different days and nights. Between 7, 12, 14 hours, and there's other carers who are there too, who are disabled or, looking after people who are disabled. And they've been very distressed too. They've said that, they've seen the kid sitting there for that many hours that they've seen pee-pee dripping from the person's nappy, the kid's nappy. I'll call it the kid because the kid is better than sort of trying to throw a few labels. And the carer or guardian, we don't know if it's the mother, just doesn't give a shit, is more interested in playing the games. We've brought it today. It really pissed me off, understanding that a nappy in a child, of babies and all that, if left to sit there for hours, they end up with sores and bed sores. Like very similar, like elderly people, if they're left to sit in one spot forever, they get sores. Now, you can't go near them because the odour is that bad. I brought this up with, what do you call it, a host there today. She apparently has played with the little, the little kid, and the kid can't talk, and, and we brought that up with the host there today, and the host denied even knowing the person. We've seen her play with the little brat, if you want to call it the brat. That's being like giving it a human personality. So anyway, we didn't know what to do, and when the lady denied it of knowing, we didn't know how we could lay a complaint that the carer or the guardian of this little disabled girl had been neglected. So I went home and I rang up the casino to speak to the security because, security, I guess, are the ones who are in charge of letting people in and letting people out. The first person didn't know what to say and then handed me over to a supervisor. Very commonly, a supervisor won't give their name, but they'll say that they're the supervisor. I said to them about the story that the kid had been there for hours, no change, smelled, dripping, urine on other various occasions, and even sitting there for, the various hours. The security guard wasn't too concerned, but he said, well, when you're in next time, come up to the security office and write a report and say you had spoken to the supervisor and give a description of the person and we'll look out for them. And he said that, you know, there's a number of people who look really small and skinny that are actually, you know, adults. And I'm thinking, I really got brushed off. He didn't ask me my name, where I live, anything like that. You know, today was a breaking point that, you know, I wouldn't let, if I was, you know, if I was sick or something like that, my wife left me sitting in a disabled carriage, not a wheelchair, but like those walker disabled carriages, and let me shit and piss and, you know, dribble and whatever, you know, for, you know, 7, 12, 14 hours, you know, and just kept giving me the liquid, you know, to shut me up. You know, that would be neglect. That's disgusting. And as I said, I brought that up with a worker there who's actually what I would say a senior in charge at the casino, and she just, as I said, she just denied, don't know what you're talking about. The patrons are sitting around watching, but I'm not sure whether they know what to do or they don't want to get involved or whatever. And I mean, I should have got more involved and find out, but I just can't handle the smell of urine and shit or feces. It sort of has this odor in the end that gives you the gag, you know, that sort of thing, you know. And you can't go near the machines because of the odor. And during the night, I don't know if it's normal, but during the night, maybe about 4 o'clock in the morning, the lady got a blanket and draped it over the kid's head, you know, to make it look like, I guess, nighttime. And that's a bit distressing if you have to keep a disabled person out with you who is obviously tired, obviously in distress, and, you know, to sort of pretend that it's nighttime, you drape a blanket over their head. I know they can breathe most probably, but it's just not right. You know, I got my certificate through the community services, you know, to work with children some years back, and I think it might have expired 2012 or just 2013. It was a 5-year community service license. And, you know, my parents have, you know, been carers of disabled children, and, you know, that they've done all the courses, everything else. I brought this up with them some months ago it was, and I said, you know, this doesn't seem right. A lady is bringing a disabled child that looks like a child, you know, helpless like a baby, in there, sitting in a little cramped up wheelchair type thing, you know, and they don't change. She doesn't change her. She doesn't do nothing. Just slaps the bottle in the mouth, and that's it. When there's a bit of, you know, like a little baby cry, you know, it's distressing. It's really distressing to see that sort of stuff and not being able to do anything, and addressing it in a casino and even ringing them up. You know, I've recorded it, but to even ring them up and they say, well, when you're in next, you know, like, come and report it and we'll keep an eye out for it. They know that those people are there. They know that person's doing that. That person's there for hours with, you know, the workers go around and they hold the little kid's hand, you know, and sort of, how are you? And, you know, the kid is non-responsive, I don't think. You know, that what I can see, there's, you know, that sort of non-responsive, you know, I think maybe the kid might have brain damage, but anyway, it's a non-responsive. But they still do the little plays and everything. But the kid smells, it just doesn't get changed, doesn't, you know, and you know, you know, and other carers, I hope that they've reported it to the casino, because it's a duty of care of a kid being abused because the carer or guardian wants to play the bloody pokies, the one-armed bandits, the, you know, poker machines, and neglect the little kid for the sake of winning $100, or for the sake of winning $300, sitting there for hours and hours and hours, and then swapping over to another machine when the floor smells, and it's the smell goes into your nose, and it's like your clothes stink. You think that, you know, like when you like a garlic smell, you know, or a skunk. You think, is that me? You know, it's distressing. You know, the people who are responsible for knowing that this goes on should be ashamed of themselves, but there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. Maybe I can ring up Mississippi Child Welfare or something. But, you know, I've got to be prepared, you know, to go to court if need be, and I'd have to be prepared to maybe see the carer go off to jail due to neglect, the carer or guardian. And, you know, I'm not prepared to look after a little kid or anything like that. I'm not prepared. I'm not mentally, physically capable of, you know, seeing the suffering of the little thing anymore. I just told them that's enough. I said, that's it, no more. I told them on the phone, on the security, no more. It doesn't happen anymore. If I see this when I go in there again, I'm going to stand there and I'm going to bring them over, and I'm going to say that kid has been sitting for 4 hours or 6 hours or 12 hours, whatever time period it is, and hasn't been changed, has been neglected. Do something about it, because, you know, that's just awful, you know, for an establishment to think that they are collecting money from a person who is abusing another kid by not looking after their needs. Anyway, I got pissed off. So next time I'm in the casino, which could be a week or two away, depending on how, you know, how money is, I go and report it, and I don't know the person's name. I don't know the kid, you know, the name of them. And as I said, I tried reporting it to the host who was working this morning in the casino, and she denied. Don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. You know, and we've seen her play handy hands and things like that with, you know, and that's disgusting. You know, that they would actually let people work in their business while a kid's getting abused. You know, I could imagine, you know, the kid having sores and all that, you know, just sitting there for hours, and, you know, it's the kid, the disabled girl, hasn't got a voice. You don't hear there's no talking or no or anything, you know, like foo foo foo. There's nothing that has been tangible. So anyway, you guys have watched this. I'm going to give it a title. I just thought I'd let you know that sometimes, you know, you see things, you may not do anything, or you try to do something, but, you know, people don't want to cooperate in the way of, or take responsibility, or even acknowledge that they've got a problem within their establishment, especially at a casino where a kid is actually neglected and sitting in their nappy. I know I'm repeating this because people cut things out of this. A kid, you know, disabled girl is neglected by a caregiver, guardian at the casino, and no one's taking responsibility, and that's why I even rang security. And, you know, people are just not taking responsibility for what's going on in their establishment. Something will go wrong, but at least it's been reported. Well, the bloke didn't write anything down or ask my name or what time was it,